And we will build the wall. Don't worry about it. We will build the wall. Law and order will be restored, and the poorest places in our country will know safety and peace again. American values and cultures will be cherished, and I mean cherished, and celebrated once again. But to achieve this new American future, we must break free from the bitter failures of the past and reject the same insiders telling us the same old lies over and over and over again. No group in America has been more harmed by Hillary Clinton's policies than African Americans. No group. No group. If Hillary Clinton's goal was to inflict pain on the African American community, she could not have done a better job. It's a disgrace. Tonight, I'm asking for the vote of every single African American citizen in this country who wants to see a better future. The inner cities of our country have been run by the Democratic Party for more than 50 years. Their policies have produced only poverty, joblessness, failing schools, and broken homes. It's time to hold Democratic politicians accountable for what they have done to these communities. At what point do we say enough? At what point do we say enough? It's time to hold failed leaders accountable for their results, not just their empty words over and over again. Look at what the Democratic Party has done to the city as an example, and there are many others, of Detroit. 40% of Detroit's residents, 40%, live in poverty. Half of all Detroit residents do not work and cannot work and can't get a job. Detroit tops the list of most dangerous cities in terms of violent crime. Number one. This is the legacy of the Democratic politicians who have run this city. This is the result of the policy agenda embraced by crooked Hillary Clinton. $33,000 emails gone. The only way to change results is to change leadership. We can never fix our problems by relying on the same politicians who created our problems in the first place. A new future requires brand new leadership. Look how much African American communities have suffered under Democratic control. To those I say the following: what do you have to lose by trying something new like Trump? What do you have to lose? I say it again, what do you have to lose? Look, what do you have to lose? You're living in poverty. Your schools are no good. You have no jobs. 58% of your youth is unemployed. What the hell do you have to lose? And at the end of 4 years, I guarantee you that I will get over 95% of the African American vote. I promise you. Because I will produce for the inner cities, and I will produce for the African Americans. And the Democrats will not produce, and all they've done is taken advantage of your vote. That's all they've done. And once the election's over, they go back to their palaces in Washington, and you know what? They do nothing for you. Just remember it. So you have nothing to lose. One thing we know for sure is that if you keep voting for the same people, you will keep getting the same, exactly the same result. My administration will go to work for you as no one has ever done before. We will work. We will bring back jobs. We will work. By contrast, the one thing every item in Hillary Clinton's agenda has in common is that it takes jobs and opportunities away from African American workers. It takes jobs away from all workers because your companies are leaving Michigan. Your companies are leaving every single state in our union. They're going to Mexico. They're going everywhere but here. Hillary Clinton supports open borders, which means many things, but it means people pour in and they take your jobs. Whether you like it or don't like it, they take your jobs. Her fierce opposition to school choice. You need choice. You have to get your children into good schools. You do that through competition. You need choice. Her plan to massively raise taxes on small business and everyone. $1.3 trillion tax increase, whereas I'm cutting taxes very substantially for business and for the middle class. Her tremendous opposition to American energy. The opposition is fierce. And her record of giving our jobs away to many, many other countries. America must reject the bigotry of Hillary Clinton, who sees communities of color only as votes, not as human beings worthy of a better future. Hillary Clinton would rather provide a job to a refugee from overseas than to give that job to unemployed African-American youth in cities like Detroit who have become refugees in their own country. It's time to get our country back to work, and that includes an all-out effort to help young African Americans get the good-paying jobs that they deserve. Hillary Clinton's plan would bring in an estimated 620,000 refugees in her first term at a lifetime benefit cost of some $400 billion to our country, according to the Senate Immigration Subcommittee. Hillary Clinton wants to be America's Angela Merkel. By the way, for the price of supporting one refugee in the United States, we could support 12 in a safe zone in the Middle East, or let's say Syria. The improved refugee screening standards I have proposed will save countless billions of dollars. It's called extreme vetting. Extreme vetting. We will invest a portion of the money saved in a jobs program for inner city youth. The African American community has given so much to this country. They fought and died in every war since the Revolution. They've lifted up the conscience of our nation in the long march towards civil rights. They've sacrificed so much for the national good, yet nearly 4 in 10 African-American children still live in poverty, and 58%, as I said, of young African-Americans are not working. They cannot find a job. We must do better as a country. I refuse to believe that the future must be like the past. It won't be. Our future is going to be a great future for everyone, for everyone. In a Trump administration, all workers of all colors will get priority for jobs in their own country, which is about time. I want higher wages for African Americans, for Hispanic Americans, and for all Americans. We want higher wages. Many workers in our country are making substantially less money today in real wages than they made 18 years ago. They're working 2 jobs instead of 1. They're working much harder as they get older, and it's supposed to be the opposite. We're going to stop it. We're going to create great jobs, and we're going to get the wages up. Hillary Clinton is a throwback to an ugly past where politicians preyed on our poorest citizens while selling them out for personal gain. Promises, promises, all talk, no action. All talk, no action politicians. They talk, talk, talk. You vote them in with great fanfare, and then they do nothing. With Trump, that's not going to happen. Believe me.